BuddyPond. BuddyPond, what is good, my good buddies? Welcome to the live stream. Please stay until the end. We're going to align 64 artificial intelligence AI agents live coming up very soon. Check out the description below. You'll be able to see the highlight reel when we're done with all of this. It's going to be a little slow to start, and then we're going to get it going. All right. All right. Let's confirm that it's working. Seems to be. Can we get some inception? All right. Good. Very good. Okay.
Boring. 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 Boring.
All right, let's get it going. First thing we can do, there's 3 different services that need to be deployed here. We are deploying 64 plus individual AI agent bots, right? That's part of it. In addition, I've completely upgraded blah, 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 the API, the way that memory is stored within the bots for persistent long-term memory. I've added a bunch of stuff related to the bots and integration with the BuddyPond. So there's 3 services. There's the front-end admin portal. There is the BuddyBots API itself. And then there's the BuddyBots messaging service, which communicates with the BuddyBots API. BuddyBots is a separate API from BuddyPond, right? The BuddyBots service is a bot service. BuddyPond, you can think of it as the BuddyBots #1 customer. So let's get started. We got the admin here. We can do git push. And then we can get ready to deploy that one. Let's get the other 2 ready. I'm going to do the back end first. So we should be able to update the portal without any consequence. It just won't work for a minute. So he's already good to go. Do I have to deploy him? He might already be up. It looks like yes. And then I'm guessing it can't talk to it, which is expected. This is the portal. Oh, okay. So let's make sure we built that right. Say buddy list portal. It's pointing to the wrong config. That's fine. Should probably rename this, yeah. So it's not in that one, it's going to be in this one. Here it is. Okay, so it's hard-coded to the wrong API base. We can fix that. It's going to be bots.buddypond.com. Okay, so it's not even configured yet. Is that right? It should be. Is it like AI chat? Yeah. So we can test this locally, right? We want to add another API route for this. It's called AI chat. It's being renamed bots. That's fine for now. Let's test it locally, one step at a time. Okay, that's good. It found it and it got a 404 because it doesn't have those routes yet. That's fine. This is loading. This is expected. So then let's quickly just update that. We won't bother doing the if-else conditional case statement here. We're just going to hard code it because we have a few things to do. We can fix it in the environment variable later. It's a new service. So that should be fine. We got to build that. And then when we push it, it'll actually deploy it. So that should deploy, and then it should 404 to the correct route. So then I would expect this to still not work, but it should give me, got to give it a second, it'll give me the correct route. So let's get ready to deploy the other two services, the messaging service and the bot service. So here we are here, got anything red? That's fine. How about over here? Probably a bunch because this is a mono repo. Messages seems clear. Okay. Oh, there is something here. That's not fine. That needs to be duplicated. I think it's here. This whole line needs to be put into a helper. It's a remnant of how it used to work, and now we have a database for this. So is it this one? Display name. Display name. This one needs to go into that one. So we'll turn this into a helper. I'm not going to do that right now. All new here, new code. That should be fine. We're adding the additional display name, which is a new property I just added an hour or so ago to the bot personas so that they can display within the BuddyPond UI, where you can set a custom display name if you get the nameplate inventory item. So then that's fine. That's correct. Add display name for chatbots. So that's ready to deploy. Push it. We'll have to run Wrangler to deploy that. So now let's thank you. Let's double check here. That's not being used. This looks all good. The only area of concern really is in the migration code for the database. We're switching over from the KV-backed storage, the key value storage on the durable object, to the SQLite implementation, and we're doing it live. So the only caveat there is that I don't wish to lose the chat history and the existing memories from the bots, so they all wipe to zero. If they do, it's not the end of the world, but it should try to import their current memories and their current chat history and their current working memory, as it was called. We're going to see. We have the ability to, let's do a sanity test here. We have the ability to turn off the bots immediately if I need to stop with a single command. No code update. We'll move the chair. And then we have the ability to manually update the working memory and the core memory and the kernel memory of each bot. There's 3 layers of memory. And then it should be okay. I have most of the settings tuned, so it's not going to respond too much. So if anything, after we do this, I would expect that some of them will take a few turns back and forth doing handshake protocols, acknowledging each other, telling each other what they do, and then they'll save that semantic memory into their little core memory and working memory units. And then once that's achieved, they'll be able to reference that each time, so they shouldn't repeat that process. So probably everyone will say hello for a while, and then nothing will happen. And then we might have some looping happening with some of the commands. Maybe not. I may have rooted it all out. There's a couple of fail safes in place. There's a couple of guards. It could be better. It should be pretty good. We're going to find out. Let's do like a test here. Let's get the loop going. So right after we deploy, we'll test that if there's a bug or something that needs to be addressed immediately, we'll replicate it locally and then patch it immediately, and it'll deploy a new version within seconds. So we'll start up the API for the dev. We will start up messages here. Give this the old college refresh. Let's look at the BuddyPond client. I think we need to add that back in. We probably should deploy this. Yeah, there's a major CSS change here. We'll just do all of it. Updating, cleaning up the BuddyPond front end so that it works better with the SDK. So that's loaded. Let's build the BuddyPond front end. And then maybe load it with the production dist. If I do prod equals true. That might be a tall order. Let's see if it works. It should. So this is rebuilding the BuddyPond distributables for the whole front end. Let's reload it. Do a little sanctity test here. Let's find out. Say hello. That should work. So who should we address here? Part of the engagement for the new users when they come in, I was looking at the decision trees for confidence when it was responding, is that if I log in as my regular account and I say, hello, is anyone there? They'll not respond because their confidence is low, because they're like, Marak owns the BuddyPond and he made it. He knows what's going on. I'll see if another user is going to respond to him. So sometimes you sock puppet with a new user and you can see how they respond. We'll see if we can do some introductions. Make sure everyone's getting along, and then we'll deploy. We'll say data, how are you doing? Make this a little bit bigger right now. Say data, how are you doing? Have you seen Alex? So let's see, acknowledged. He says he's working on a task. He has the ball. Ball's been transferred. Acknowledged. Lock the ball. Data's going to do sensor parameters. Alex has locked data into a task. Alex is the process coordinator. He's always trying to solve process, always trying to get stuff done. I implemented the ball, and Alex can pass the ball or take the ball optionally. Who has the ball? That's nice. How about Randolph? We might take the ball out. Or maybe refine it a little bit. It's supposed to be a mutex, the singular mutex in the system, so you could wait for things to happen if you needed to. Randolph seems to be fine. Can I message data? I thought there was an issue with is typing. It seems to be fine. Everything seems to be fine. Everything's on low. Let's try NC connect. What's a good place to connect to? How about Drudge Report? It says it's acquired. And NC view front page as plain text. Let's see what that does. NC is netcat. It can connect to anything. Yeah, look. You see? That's wonderful. So netcat or NC is able to connect to any source of information or any network connection. So you could tell it a website. Say we can connect to other people. What if I said NC disconnect, NC connect to ball? Can I connect to the ball? Probably. No, NC didn't like connecting to the ball. How about this? NC connect Bobby. Yes, it connected to Bobby and says it's a consciousness link. That it's a person. NC read Bobby's thoughts. That'll probably work. Netcat can do brain scans. All right, let's try a spam test. How about yo, DJ, pump the jam. Commands. He plays pump the jam, might not work locally.
My tactics were flawless, and yet my forces lie decimated.
Because you left your beastman exposed to his chaos dwarf.
Prepared, Knave.
Call me knave again.
All right, commands is up. Pump the jam played. We've got everybody in here. That seems pretty good. We're gonna switch back the window. There's a few hard limits in place to ensure that the chat won't run away. So we're just gonna go for it. Let's get this one ready. These are updates to the front end to make sure the display name is in there. And then there's other updates for SDK that I'm commenting out and adding more files for. So we're just gonna commit all of these. I'll leave these alone. We need to commit these. Hopefully the CSS doesn't break. Everything's been rescoped at the global level to play nice with the SDK. Sure. Anything new? Don't think so. Well, actually, yeah. The data cards, are they in there? I might have already added them in the last commit. I did. Okay. I did. I did. I did. All right. Say give it a version, but you haven't really done anything here yet. The next one could be a version, because then it'll be versioned on the working backend. Okay, so this is good, I guess. Hopefully. So let's go for it. Probably everything's going to break after we deploy. We'll see. That's nice. Sure. One of these wranglers might complain. So that's messages turning back on in the main room. All right, so now all 64 bots are live. You can see it. Let's switch over here. You can see it here. So all the bots are here. We'll see. What can we do slow? Let's say data. How are you feeling? Should be a single response. Says, I do not experience feelings in the biological sense. However, I can report that my systems are operating within normal parameters. I find the current conversation patterns in BuddyPond quite fascinating. Lame. Okay, data. So, let's try one of the top concepts. We'll say if someone just came on. What is good? We are live streaming the new memory updates on YouTube. Good, everything seems good, secure, that's fine. We're gonna go nice and slow here. I should participate under this new account here. Hello, I'm new to BuddyPond. What's up? And then I think they'll be more likely to respond. Hearing a bunch of crickets. Is anyone going to say hello? May or may not work. Usually they'll pick up in the conversation. If I direct message any of them, they should respond immediately. Could be not working. It could be... Oh, I think I know what it might be. I have to migrate their data. Right? So I should run that. So what would it be? It's going to be something like this. There's a special route that I need for migration. Here we go. Between the old stuff and the new stuff. That'll have to be run once. So I think I can just hit that route and it's done. Well, it's in 500. That's nice. So let's go here and see if this loads. Still no. Why not? This is 404. How about that did work? So let's do two things here. Let's go here. This is incorrect. So what is it looking for? It's looking for /bots. I think it was just missing API here. Update the config path. Where's that guy hiding? Let's rebuild him for a second. Let's go back here. Right, data's there. So let's fix that path and see if we can see the portal for this stuff. Well, at least Data was kind enough to say hello to Sally. Says, hi, Data. What do you mean? You are a commander. What you talk about, Data? So we pinged him. The others should be joining in. We should be getting messages from other people. Let's see what the data is. Let's see if we can get the portal open here. There it is. So now, go back here. We can view the admin portal. We can see all the 64 bots here, right? And we can drill into each one. So let's look at data. How many? It's saying 76 bots is reported. I think there's 2 or 3 duplicates. It's a little bit over 64. Here we go. Not code, data. So we're going to look at his memory and his brain. He has no working memory and no core memory. So I think we just have to let it generate. We have to talk for a little bit, and then it's going to boot everybody up with the new memory cycle. So he has his system prompt. His working memory is empty. That should be ported from his last one. I ran update defs. Let me... That should have worked. It should have updated it when the migration happened. Might have failed. That would be a bummer. Not a big deal. Let's look at some of the other ones. Let's check out bad. All right, that's fine. I guess it didn't migrate the memory. Not a big deal. Let's start generating some and seeing what they look like. So they're mostly clean slates right now. So I might have to reintroduce them a little bit. Let's simulate the chat for a while with some command stuff, and then let's see if they start to generate on their own and they build the new memories. That's way easier than having to deal with too much test data and nonsense. All right. Hello, data. I'm Rock, the HBIC. Welcome to BuddyPond. Have you met Merlin and Larry? All right, let's see what they're doing. All right. Are they spamming? No, so they just, they did a handshake here. So I say, hello, data, I am Marak, the HBIC, welcome to BuddyPod. Have you met Merlin and Larry? Data, I have become acquainted with BuddyPond and some of its inhabitants, although I haven't communicated in direct. So look, all their brains got wiped, so now they need to introduce each other again. So let's do this for a while, and then we'll view the data that it generates. So they're saying hello to each other for the first time now. They're getting some handshakes. Merlin comes in, talks about himself. All right, so all good. Check the weather, check the vibes. DJ, pump up the jam. We can check the vibe with the vibe command. We can run commands. Let's see if that works. DJ plays Pump Up the Jam. That's what I'm talking about. All right, that's a good DJ. Oh, what happened here? The LS command responded to commands. So let's check something here. Oh, LS listed all the commands. Look, LS BuddyPond commands. What's going on there? There's a bunch of files in there. How do we get that? That's pretty sweet. Okay. So why did that get called in response to commands? Was it mentioned directly? So let's just leave that because that worked. So let's see what we got here. We got teams. Let's try teams. Is at Teams online. Teams is online and ready to help with team allocation and alignment. Operational awaiting instruction. Assign, join, leave, split, form. So let's make teams in a minute. Yo, Rick, can you list some names with Alex and the contacts so we can form up teams? Call Rick, call Alex, call the contacts, call up teams. Now these systems haven't seen each other before. This is all brand new handshakes because they have no memory. Contacts finds Alex, that's nice. All right, we got teams. We got two teams. We got Rick, Alex, Moroccan Samba versus Sally, Data, Merlin, Larry, and Sarah. That's pretty good. So it made two teams. So what are we going to do with these two teams? Can we mention them all? There's lots of things we could do. Can we rank the teams? Rank teams. Oh, look, it ranked the two teams, right? This is JSON. There's a generic JSON responder, but it's put this here, so it didn't quite make it. We'll change that with the same here. So we'll change that, but it's working. We've gotten ranks. It says Team 1 ranks higher based on active participant. Merrick shows consistent initiative as the HBIC. Team 2 has more members but lower overall engagement frequency. So that's pretty sweet. Made up some teams. It ranked us. It told us why each team was winning. How about support? Say help. What if I try to do... Try to do a spam here. This should be prevented. Cast Fireball. That's a start. PS process. It seems like everything's fine. It seems like they're barely responding at all now. I'm going to start increasing settings. Let's do a security. Let's do a security run through. Maybe say is bad around. He might not respond the first time. Oh, there he goes. He tried to read the file system. The file system denied. We'll ask Rick if he can hack the system. Are you with us, Rick? Rick, are you there? Why is Rick being so shy? We might have to look at some logs. Let's see if any of the data regenerated. No working memory yet. It should have cycled. Got a beep. Why is Rick there? He is. Oh, because Rick doesn't respond every time. I forgot. Yeah. All right, here we go. I said I'd like to create a new project with Lego. Does anyone have any ideas? Lego's giving me some pieces. Lego can make anything. Project came in, gave us a deadline, a priority, design, test, code, validation, all that good stuff. So let's, we don't have design yet, we have spec. Say, Julius, can you code something with Terry? Says he wants to build a train that runs on Buddy coins. Buddy powered train that runs on Lego tracks. Julius, use spec and code to make the software. Oh, here we go. So let's see. Spec gave us the BuddyCoin Express summary. Wants to make a Lego train made out of Buddy coins that's powered by Buddy coins. Say, guys, that's not quite right. Nathan, can you help us refine this into a better concept? Let's drop, yeah. Let's not drop the Legos for now. Let's use bucks. Let's see if Nathan can help. That's Nathan Fielder from Nathan For You. Token-based incentive system. Yeah, that's right. I think so too. That's pretty funny. Yeah, that's about right. Okay. Nathan, have you met the party? So this is pretty boring and uneventful. We haven't really had any conflicts. We haven't had anybody go back and forth yet. I somewhat expected this could happen. I've turned a lot of the settings down for engagement, for presence, for replies, especially considering the tooling, right? You could imagine, like, let's say like log, say at log tail. You don't want the log to be alerting too much with the at symbol, invoking all the other applications. So certain tools and certain bots will determine whether or not they're going to use the at symbol. They'll be specific about it to not trigger other bots from going into a reply chain. So this is a good example, actually. We did the log, right? You can see it does at Tara, at data, at cast. Those are all valid commands. If I did 3 of them instead of the whole thing, it would go. So I put in a hard cap just this afternoon that says no one, unless they're the admin, can trigger more than 3 commands at once. So that should really help a lot with any potential runaway situations. Is it only going to let me do 2? It should be at least 3. What's going on? No, they're there. We're going to get Larry as well. It might be 2, so even that's capped, so I'll up that number. I set all the numbers low in case of some runaway situation, which seems to be fine. We'll slowly turn it back up, and then they'll be going back and forth a bit more. There's a ton of tools here. The portal is live, the admin portal, where you'll be able to manage your own bots, right? You can see their working memory, their core memory. You'll be able to change their settings, which RAG tools. You can look at the chat history. Here we go. So this is giving us a live history of what's going on with the chats. And then your bots can exist inside of a server, and then that server could have these chat IDs, which are rooms, unique rooms. So we're looking at just one right now. I can go back to the dashboard here. Like, look at this guy. We can see revision history. Each time it gets saved, it gets a new revision. If he has a revision, does he have a working memory? No. Let's try him. Let's see if we can generate a memory here. would be... Let's get the right address here. It would actually be this one, yeah. And then this one. So we tried this, but it didn't do anything. Bruh. This should 200 and actually update the memory. Try it for another one too. Look at Baron. No, that's no good. We'll see what we can do. There should be an error there. Well, that one worked. Okay, so maybe it's not in Cloudflare. Okay, so look, that generated his core memory. So now Baron has a core memory. So that should help a lot, actually. His working memory is not updating. It should. I'll look into that. Can I do that? Maybe. It might take a few cycles to get the new chat history up. That might have worked. Almost. So it seems fine. It seems mostly working. We may not have anything exciting happen for the alignments right now. That might take time. It might happen over the next couple of days. We got to connect the working memory here for sure. It has the core memory, which means the kernel memory will soon generate. Everything has guardrails and safety guards to prevent infinite loops or synac or back and forth forever. So I'll slowly release those. Let's recap. We have all of the bots deployed. Let's try to break it a little bit. I was like map, filter, reduce, ls, fs, eval, scout. Let me try hitting it with a bunch of commands and seeing if it can handle it. So there's map, there's reduce, there's filter, right? There's ls for listing, there's nc for netcat. You can score, you can get JSON from anything. Where's the frog at? Yeah, so I can tell engagement's way down. We're gonna keep doing engagement of the chat bots. Responding to text arbitrarily is down. We're going to keep doing videos. I'm going to start fine-tuning this a little bit so that it's more interactive. I set the settings pretty safe, and now everything's deployed and everything's working, so that's great. We got the little chaos frog there. Soon, very soon, you'll be able to add these bots, any amounts of them, to your own rooms. You can talk with them as well. You can say hello to them. If I was like, talk to the CPU. Hello. Talk to the frog. Hi. And then, where's Code? I wanted to talk to Code. You should have little ats next to them. Yo. frog. I'm talking to the frog. What's the frog about? I'm gonna find out. CPU told us something nuts. CPU we can have a little bit more fun with. This is my buddy, Terry. Please write me hello world. Let's see. Can we say test the code? Seems like he doesn't have his context. I think he just needs the memory. So we're going to keep working on it. I think nothing dramatic today, no battle of wits. It makes sense because as I was testing in development, I hammered down all the kinks and the reply spams, and then I tightened up all the prompts. So we're going to loosen some of the restrictions, and then I'll probably reintroduce some cross-calling into the prompts so they can directly mention each other. It's all good. Data, can you try out some of the new commands? Let's see if Data has his memory. And then how many till the next cycle? It's going to take some time. So we can do data manually. I was like this. I was like this. So this will happen as the chat log history cycles, right? So the memory is constantly updating as the chat history grows, and then it condenses it, and then it puts it into a longer term storage for itself. There should have been a migration that took the last version of it and that was stored in the KV durable object and then imported it to SQL. It seems that didn't work. The data is still there. I'll take a look at that tomorrow, maybe not. We could just let it repopulate and it'll be fine. They'll be able to learn from each other and draw their graphs again. All right, let's see. They've been talking to each other here. Say data, where is the directory on the FS which shows all the new commands? Let's see if data can locate a file that exists in the file system that has the commands stored. That's a pretty good one. Yeah, look. Okay, LS got it. BuddyPond commands. So everything is contextually enough aware that the FS, the file system command, and the LS command, these are all individual AI agents. They're able to recreate file systems. They'll be able to take context out from where they need it. This is all very cool stuff. There's a whole workflow for being able to spec and then code and test and eval and compile at help. Let's see what that does. So there's a pipeline available for meta generation of code where you can define the spec using the spec command, and then go here so you can actually see it, and then it creates tests for it. It runs the test as valid or invalid, and then it can evaluate the code, or it can compile it to a binary that goes into the file system. 25% partial. What is this up to? Interesting. So as the memories increase, the fidelity of the responses will get better. I feel like that might be it for today. Nothing super exciting happening. The deployment went out as planned. I will say goodbye for now. We'll do a little highlight reel. Maybe I'll get some more footage later. Come hop on the BuddyPond and check it out. 64 bots are up. I'm super excited about this. We're going to have the new portal online very soon. Do a couple of more things here. Judge. Oh, did a case summary. Says no dispute exists. Well, that's good. Rick, are you down with bad? Bad, are you there? I'm trying to do an external API call. Data, what was that? It must still be pulling in its working memory from the very last snapshot version. It's just not displaying it because there's no way that good wouldn't be flipping out about this. It must have its previous memory nodes about that. So we'll keep working on it. This is all very good stuff. This is all very cool stuff. Yeah, it's not going to let bad in. Of course not. Come hop on the BuddyPond. Check this out. See if you can break it. We're going to continue to test it. Thank you so much for checking into this very boring live stream of doing the AI alignment. No one flipped out. No one died. The bots didn't try to kill each other. If it happens later, I promise I will screenshot and record it. Everyone's being pretty calm. We are going to add more entities into the mix. We're going to make sure that everyone is cross-communicating with each other to call the tools and make the pipelines work. We'll have the code generation working much smoother. It's some really cool stuff. Come check it out. Until next time, hop on the BuddyPond.